still watching The Fourth Estate on NTV, and we're discussing this case of Zainab Mbabazi, a 23-year-old woman who says she was gang raped, naturally and unnatural, as they say. There's a whole lot of debate on whether that is actually still unnatural, because there are some new definitions. I know, Chris, I know your position on that. We'll not bring it in that. Unnatural offenses, yeah. Yes. And the question is it just a question of labor abuse? Is it just a question of a relationship gone wrong? Like you said, that some people have different preferences. But Angela, you wanted to conclude. This is not unique. I had a discussion with Hassan Kasinji, an Assistant Inspector General of Police. And he was involved in dealing with a case 2-3 years ago of 6 Indian girls brought in here, kept, and sometimes even including transfers from one place to another and to another, satisfy particular groups, largely people who have some money around them.
Elite Asians, including industrialists who I'm afraid, okay, no, I'm not afraid to say, but who the media is afraid to report on, but we all know who they are. Now,
so are you suggesting, Angelo, that there is a broad network that deals not just about trafficking for sex, but also, I've heard about drugs, we've heard about so many other things.
Human trafficking.
So one of the things Mr. Imran Yunus told me at the time was that he was informing on illegal members of the Pakistani community that were involved in illegal activities prohibited under Ugandan law, including trafficking of drugs, and of course at the time including our concerns regarding terrorism, that he was some kind of listening post. But if you look at the countries in the Global Slavery Index that was released this week, you'll just see one phenomenon: weak states. And in the case of Uganda, despite the terror scare that we are in now, our institutions are quite weak in the sense that the police are easily compromised. They themselves admit it. And as far as I'm concerned, those structural problems are what we should be focusing on. In any case, let me address the question of the xenophobia and homophobia and other things that this case has generated. Sexual violence is the leading capital offense in Uganda, for Ugandans. Yes. If you go and look at our prison statistics, almost half of those incarcerated for capital offenses are there for sexual offenses. Rape and defilement.
Rape, yes.
Rape and statutory rape, also called defilement. So this is not unique to us, in a sense. What I feel bad for young people, including those who are trafficked in and out of Uganda, including non-Ugandans, is that their institutions cannot guarantee their liberties, and we are now in a situation where your consent has come at a price. There's a pricing of consent. In the case of Zainab, her consent actually was devalued because of her economic status, because of the fact that she came from a rural area to an urban area, and that, you know, she's being taken advantage of by those who have found that her status can be commercialized. And we have argued about this, you know, with you and the colleagues in the newsroom, that justice today has a price, and that if you can't pay that price, you're either going to the black market or you're priced out of it.
You're a commodity.
Chris, let me come to you before I go back to Irene on this question. It's not just Zainab. It's many young people.
I think we should.
Like we said at the introduction, like I said at the introduction of this show, that you have thousands of Africans dying trying to cross high seas or dying to cross deserts. Now they're not in chains like they used to be under slavery. They're moving voluntarily, seeking better life somewhere else. You have a flood of people from largely developing countries, but also middle-income developing countries, especially in the Asian subcontinent, trying to come to Africa to do what people locally should be doing. But you also have the crisis in Europe that people are reversing. It looks to me like a global crisis, a global phenomenon of people moving. What I'm asking is, Angela talks about the index talking about weak states.
Yeah, I get.
Who is not doing their job?
I get the point, but just to conclude on the Zainab scenario, you know, we are not going to get the truth because everything has become transactional. This poor lady got in that situation because she feels abandoned.
By?
She doesn't feel belonging to this country called Uganda. She just exists in this country, but she doesn't know what to do. That's why I'm telling you, Zahir, the main suspect, is on the run. How was he able to run? And then we have the people who were not this girl's boyfriends locked up in the police. Who aided Zahir to run? There could have been a transaction. So because we are angry as a country at what's happening, we are bound to say, oh, they gang raped, they did all this. But it may end up in court, and all you find maybe is charging them for failing to report the offense the girl reported, maybe. But because the man the girl says is guilty, he's on the run. So it is possible to pay the one police officer, then we debate about the police, then we debate about the police. But coming to critical what you're saying, Charles, I will say one thing, and I said on this show, wealth has a nationality. Unfortunately, in Uganda, wealth doesn't seem to have a nationality. We have been told it doesn't matter who gets rich, it only matters that the wealth is located here. Wealth being located here doesn't mean it belongs to Uganda. And I can tell you, it all comes from this strand of capitalism we call free market. And how I wish we get time to debate free market, and I tell you, it is false. Any foreign investment here does not belong to Uganda. And I've heard the president saying, when they come and build this, where does it belong? When the same companies say, we want to cut costs, we want to downsize, they will never cut costs of their nationals who work here. They will sack Ugandans. And I'm not afraid to say, just 3 months ago, go and look at UTL. The apex is all foreign. When they were cutting costs, they slashed all Ugandan managers. That shows you UTL as a nationality, not Ugandan. If it was Ugandan, it would be Ugandans at the top. But it's not Ugandans. The owners have to remove Ugandans. That's what gives wealth a nationality. It gives a face. It is different when it is Wavamuno, when it is Sam Kutesa, whom we all love to love, when it is either Kabonero, when it is either Opolot. When Opolot owns wealth, even in the US, even in Germany, it's a Ugandan wealth. Because whatever Opolot will do will be in home. This is where I belong. So our wealth has no nationality. How does it affect the ordinary person? They cannot have job security. They have gone to school. Many Ugandans have gone to school in search of, they tell you, education empowers you. But the more Ugandans are getting educated, the more desperate they are.
Disempowered.
Because they only have the freedom to express themselves. They have the knowledge. But Charles, lose a job today, it means the fall in your living standards. Be the CEOs Ugandan.
Okay.
Oh, no, Charles. Ask any Ugandan working today, he's a manager here, he's a general manager this. The day they are fired by the owners of the wealth, the standards drop.
Let's pick it
because
up.
the state is not present.
Let's pick it up after a short commercial break. We'll be right back.